Hello traders, and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 42. It's Iliya here, and I'm so glad to see you on my YouTube channel. As always, we're going to have a look at the market, how it developed, what opportunities did we have, and what do we expect for the upcoming week. So actually it was a pretty nice week, pretty volatile, but it's slightly still indecisive because of everything that is happening. You really have to be careful and carefully judge the direction of the market. So as I always say, if you keep with the flow, if you follow the momentum, if you follow the structural shifts, then you will be profitable, I promise. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I do it as much as possible. I will give you insights in order to get the most value out of this video. So as well, if you're new to the channel, it's all about trading. I post weekly analysis, educational content, setups. A lot is coming, so make sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell in order not to miss when I post a video. And if you already did it, what are you waiting for? Let's get straight into the analysis. As always guys, starting with the DXY, having a look at the dollar. You see I started from the weekly time frame this time because there is something very interesting happening right here. As you can see, the last week we had a very strong bullish engulf, but the market cannot continue to push for forever, and this week we're having a massive bearish engulf, actually engulfing the open of the previous week, which is pretty significant actually. And if we drop down to the daily time frame, we can see that the market was extremely exhausted, and this week actually we started to spot that the dollar is going down. So we kept shorting the dollar and we kept going long on Euro USD. So from the daily time frame, I think the momentum is extremely down. Yes, we can plot the fib, but I see no signs of rejection yet. So for longs, I will really need to see a shift on the 4 hourly, because pay attention guys, what did we have at the beginning of the week, which opened just right here with that gap. So the market was consolidating for quite some time right here, and then we had the break of this structure. Then we had the retest right here on the 24th of March. So from that point on, I was sell biased on the dollar. Then we had this lower high which broke the structure to the downside, which broke this one, and from this point on, just the market started to plummet without any clear pullbacks. We had one on Friday. As you can see how the market pulls back, leaves a wick. That's the sign that we are potentially holding. We're having resistance from that area, and we just ended the day with a massive bearish engulf. But we had some news as well. I think that's what triggered that bearish pressure. So for next week, guys, I keep following the market. So this is my last structure here, last structure lower high. We can see that the market is clearly down. So what I want to see for longs is for sure a break of the last lower high and a retest for potential higher low, and then we go to the upside. However, if the market decides to push, I will just wait for a little pullback lower high, and then we continue down, right? If I have a look at some support and resistance levels, maybe from the daily, I don't see any just right now. There is a little bit of a zone right here, which I'm going to draw like this. Something like this at 98. 98 might get tapped. We might have a little bit of a structural shift, but only then I will go long. So let's keep with the flow of the market and let's see what the dollar has for us. Euro USD, exactly the opposite. As you can see, the last week we had a pretty strong bearish engulf down into 107, but this week we actually completely reversed and engulfed the last weekly candle. So this is a pretty bullish bias to me from the weekly time frame. And as we can see, the daily, it is kind of similar to the DXY. We're having a sharp move to the downside and a sharp move to the upside. From the daily time frame, we cannot spot anything, but when I drop to the 4 hourly right now, I will show you how to spot it. Right here, oops, not this one. Right here we have a level, this one, which is roughly around 1.12. This is the area of resistance that I will be watching potentially for the market to start pulling back. So let me show you. So the market opens right here, 23rd of March. This was our last structure, right? We tried to tap it right here to create a double tap, but then what did we do? We failed to make a new lower low, meaning that the market is starting to consolidate. Then we had the breakout right here. Then we had the retest, creating a new structure just right here. And from then we continued pushing on and we continued to go long on the market. The last day we had a pretty clear pullback right here, back to the EMA, massive bullish engulf, potential entries right here. I think we got onto some because we spotted our advanced patterns as well, and we went long on this one. We had longs on euro yen, which I'm going to show you as well. So deleting everything, no, I will just keep this area in mind. What I will do, guys, this is clearly an uptrend. This is my last higher low, so as long as price stays above that last higher low, I will keep buying. The market might pull back to retest this kind of zone right here to create a retest of the last higher high, and maybe push us up into 1.12, and from then we should judge. But for shorts, the market is not ready to be shorted yet. I will wait for a clear shift of direction, the market to break, to potentially go to create even a double bottom of this one, to create a head and shoulders later, and this will be my short opportunity. But for now, I keep longing the market until I see otherwise. Euro JPY, having a quick look at the weekly time frame, we can see that this level is completely holding down to the downside, and we're having this descending wicks on the weekly time frame, meaning that the price is climbing up. We can see morning star formation right here, a little bit sloppy because it's not that clear, but from the weekly time frame we're having the bullishness. Daily time frame was a complete mess for quite some time, but here on 23rd, where the market opened, we had this bullish engulf indicating some bullish pressure and tried to close above those wicks. Then we had a little pullback, broke above the EMA, retested the EMA on the daily time frame. We continued up, last push to the upside. Thursday we had a little bit of a slowdown, then we had shorts from here, and then we took some longs back down there. Why we took the longs? Because we had a pretty strong support level right here, structural support level, just to illustrate this, because we don't trade support and resistance. But what did we have right here? We had this ascending structure, push, pullback, push, pullback, push, pullback, break of the structure, failure to make a new high, like this. Lower high, push to the downside, bearish engulf. We know how to enter as well on the pushes. Then we pushed lower, spiked into this area right here, and I think it was a hourly signal. We slowed down, and then on the 15-minute, we had this tweezer bottom right here, bullish engulf, a little pullback, final pullback to the downside, and then we continued to climb. As for the next week, guys, so from the weekly and the daily time frame, we're seeing this market as bullish. However, I can see that the structure has shifted a little bit. So what I will do is I will mark my last areas. This is my last lower high. As you can see, price pushed, and right now it is pulling back. I want to see how it will react at this area right here, which is the last kind of a higher low that was broken. Retesting right now. If the market continues to push, potentially, then I will switch my bias to buy bias, because then we might have a little bit of a pullback and have an inverse head and shoulders and continue to the upside. So let's see where the momentum take us. From 4-hourly perspective, I am bearish. Daily perspective, massive wick to the downside after creating the higher high. This could be a higher low, and then we might continue to the upside. So for this pair, it's pretty crucial to monitor for the momentum and how the market is going to open. After a massive drop on Aussie USD, we finally decided to pull back a little bit this week. So from the weekly time frame, we're having kind of a bullish engulf, which engulfs the close of the previous week, which is a pretty nice sign. A massive push to the downside, and this week actually 23rd, we had a bullish week. But this bullish week is actually creating a pullback from the daily time frame. As you can see, if I pull the FIP, 50% was broken, but we have the 61.8% and the 78.6 still to fulfill. But going to my main time frame, what we saw this week, guys, very interesting. So from here, 23rd of March, we had this last structure right here. I don't remember if I indicated the structure on the weekly outlook, the previous one, but we have a test of this structure, and then the market spiked down, bullish engulf, spiked down, then created a high, then pulled back a little bit again to create a higher low, higher high, and then what it did again, the same formation as here, pushed lower, and here we had our long opportunity actually, like this, because this was the push. Then we had the break of this descending structure, the retest of the trend line, and this is where our opportunity came in, long opportunity. And we finished the week a little bit consolidating, and on Friday we had a nice push because the dollar as well ended the week quite bearish, which resulted in a very nice push to the other pairs. So deleting everything and keeping in mind all of this information, I am bullish on Aussie USD. My last point is here. As you can see, the higher low where the market pushed to create a higher high. Right now I will be waiting for a pullback. For a higher low and potentially long the market, or as I said, if I see a strong break to the downside, an invalidation of this trend line, and retest back for either for head and shoulders or just for a retest right here, then I will be looking to short the market. So again, it's important for you to understand structure and to go with the flow of the market. So let's see. For now, I will be looking for buys, but as I said, a shift of structure will tell me sells. Aussie JPY weekly time frame, not an interesting pair for this week. We did not have any opportunities on this one. So what do we see? We see a pretty strong wick to the downside right here the previous week, and right now we're having it's not a strong, but it's a bullish engulf with wick on top, which still contains some information, because what we can see when we go to the daily, we see a nice spike, slow down, slow down. So it is cooking for something. Maybe it looks pretty bearish to me. I think that this is going to flush to the downside the next week, so let's see. But from the daily time frame, all we can take is this information that the last 3 days are actually consolidating. So what we saw on this one, the market open was right here. We started with a massive push to the upside, giving us almost no opportunities. Then we found the top, pulled back to the downside to create this structural higher low. Then we tried to push up but failed. And currently we are staying at this resistance point right here. So this market is consolidating a little bit. And if I draw this area right here, we see that the final day tried to break it again, but failed. So there are people selling right here. What I want to see, guys, on this one is very easy. I want to see a break of this structure. Why? Because this will invalidate all of this bullish price action up until now. Because if we spot this, after this higher high, the market pulled back, but then it failed to continue, which means that the bulls are depleting their power. And right now we're having a little bit of a consolidation. So if I see a strong bearish signs right here, I will immediately start looking for longs using the lower time frames, and even scaling this position down, because I think there is a big downside if we break this area. First target will be roughly around the range between 63,500 and 63, and then the price might even take us into 61 or 6,500. So let's see. Let's wait for that bearish pressure. However, we might have a bullish pressure as well. If I have a bullish pressure, I will really monitor how the market will react to that resistance level, because we might have a pullback and then we might continue. So it's pretty important to monitor the flow, but I want to see more shorts on this one rather than longs. So let's see. NZD/USD weekly time frame, similar price action. We have a pretty nice bullish engulf right here after a gap down, I can see. So from the weekly time frame, we are bullish after a strong push. Actually, this was a nice push to the downside. Then we pulled back and then we made another massive push. So the price action is ridiculous during that times. So what I can do is drop a little fib right here to see where price is. It's actually approaching a 61.8%. So we might be about to end the pullback from the daily time frame. So make sure to take this information on board, guys. I don't keep the fibs because it's really clustering my charts. From the daily time frame, we have a level right here at 6,500. Make sure to mark this on as well. And what we can see from the 4-hourly, the market open right here. We had similar price action to AU, just that the higher low tried to get broken here, pushed higher, retest, and then we started to trend up, creating new structure and failing to break that structure. So all week we went long. Then we had a pretty nice opportunity on Friday as well, when the market just broke and perfectly retested the last high and gave us a nice intraday push. So taking all of this into consideration and knowing that here we have a potential 61.8%, let me just plot a little level right here, a little horizontal. Okay, 6,500 right here, rejecting. So what I want to see on this one, guys, I'm sure you know by now, I want to see the structural shift. I would either want to see a break of the last higher low, or either the market to find support at the last higher low, but then to fail to continue to the upside, to pull back for a lower high, to create a head and shoulders, and then to short the market. Other case, the market might just pull back for a higher low, a test of the trend line. If I see rejection right here, I will see for the lower time frames to indicate that there are buyers, and then I will go long. I just keep following the flow. But from the daily time frame, I think we're having a nice push, we're having a nice pullback, so there might be shorts in play, but we have to be pretty careful. Wait for the structural shift, guys. Don't just go short on market open right here, because the market might just continue to climb to the upside. So let's be patient and let's see. NJ, similar to AJ, we had some pretty nice wick right here to the downside, and this week ended up with a pretty kind of nice engulfing candle, but what I don't like on top is that we have a wick which will contain information again on the daily time frame. So daily time frame, not very clear, massive spike, fill of that spike, another spike to the downside, spike to the upside, spikes again, spike. This is the only clear candle for this week that really indicated to us bullish pressure, but as you can see, then the market started to pull back but failed to continue higher. And what this resulted in is this consolidation box. Very simple analysis, guys. We can either draw the consolidation like this or maybe take this as an area, and yes, I will do this because we can see the market pushed, failed to make a high but failed to make a low as well. So this means consolidation. What I'm looking for is extremely simple. I'm waiting for a strong break, and the break of this area will even give me more confidence to go long, or a break below, a strong break below, and then I will immediately start looking for sales with some nice TP areas. First one being this, and the second one being this. So this is actually very similar setup to Aussie JPY. So let's see. They will largely depend on USD JPY. So we will have a look at it as well. Pretty simple setup, guys. We just have to be patient and to wait for the market to show us where it wants to go. What we can see on UJ is a pretty nice bearish candle. It's not an engulfing candle, but this contains a lot of information because there is no wick to the downside, which indicates pretty strong bearishness. So what we had an opportunity this week. We even discussed it. I think I uploaded a video on this one. We had this triangular formation right here, so we were waiting for the breakout. We had the breakout, we had a little retest right here, and then the market just started to flush to the downside. So we see that the JPY UJ is bearish, which means that we might have a short opportunity on AJ and NJ. But first, what I want to see on USD JPY is for the market to pull back, because this is a nice push to the downside. We might pull back to the last lower high, but I think we might need even a bigger pullback, because from the daily time frame, we're pretty exhausted right now, and I think we might have a little push to the upside to exhaust and then continue down. As for take profits, I usually target structural points, so this will be this is a pretty good one. Right here at 105,500, if I am to draw a zone as well, like this. First TP right here, we have a little area just right here as well, something like this, 107,500. So let's see. I will be waiting for the market to pull back, to create a lower high, to leave me the rejections I want, to show me the price action on the hourly time frame that I want to see, and then I will go short. But so far, pretty nice price action on UJ. It is really telling us what is going on, because even from the daily, look at that tweezer top right here, top, two indecision candles. This just screams that we are going down. But what I was very careful of, because I expected a push to the upside to stop out all the people that were shorting from here, but we didn't have this. We just broke, we just retested, and we continued down. So yeah, that was pretty strange, because I bet when we had the webinar, I said this will push to the upside, but I was wrong. So that's UJ. I'm bearish bias until I see otherwise. Pull back, lower high, and then 2 TPs right here. USD CAD, guys, very difficult pair to be traded, but what we see that we had two, it looks like a stock that just spiked up and the balloon was blown right now, and we're having some bearishness right now coming in. It really looks like Bitcoin. I'm joking for the crypto guys. So daily time frame, what we spotted, I really thought that this was going down, and I was right. So we had this pretty nice spikes to the upside. This was the previous week, and the week ended as a pretty nice bearish engulf. Then on the open, we pushed up higher, but I want you to pay attention again and go with the flow. We failed to continue higher. Then we had a day of consolidation right here, and this told me that we are going down. And then we had the bearish engulf breaking below this structure, which we're going to see right now on the 4-hourly. But as you can see, the 4-hourly was very hard to trade. It was really hard. So I was monitoring the market right here, and I was ready to take shorts, but I didn't take it because this was Monday, and I don't trade on Monday. Then we had a pretty strong bullish engulf, and I said, we might be going up. Then the market slided down, but I always pay attention to structure, and this was higher than the last higher low. So I said, okay, I'm still up. But then the market failed to break the last higher high. So I said, okay, this might be a double top, but I will just wait for the break. And the break happened. We retested. We secondarily retested the second time, and that's when we flushed opportunity here and another opportunity here, which was actually, I couldn't take this because it was overnight, and when I sat at the chart, this has already pushed down there, so I didn't manage to enter. And the last day we had a little pullback again back to the EMA, and we continue flushing to the downside. So taking all of this into consideration, I am short on USD CAD, and if you remember that gap from a few weeks ago, this might get filled after a long push to the upside. And this is another example, guys, why you should not trade gaps or just go against the gap or go for the gap fill, because the market will not always fill the gap. It will fill it, but we don't know when, so it might fill it after a month. So let's get technical. First structure right here, imminent structure. This one, I will be looking for the market to stay below. I will be looking for a pullback, lower high formation, and a continuation to the downside. The momentum is down, so until I see otherwise, a break of the last lower high and a retest, I will remain short bias. I will be waiting for a pullback, lower high. As for support and resistance levels, let me just have a quick look. I think there is one at 38. Yep, one at 38, just right here, something like this. 1.38 will be the first area that I will be looking to TP. And then we have numerous others because the market was just climbing up right here, creating structural points. So we can just swing this to the downside. However, what we can see from the daily, guys, as well, is that this was exhausted. This already pushed for 1, 2, 3, 4 days. And I would expect maybe a little bit of a bigger exhaustion. So let's see what happens. Very tricky pair to trade. I would advise you to be careful because this is USD CAD. It has a lot to deal with oil as well and the Canadian dollar. So be careful with it and let's see what happens. But overall, I am sell biased for now. USD Swiss franc, beautiful pair to be traded as it's completely the opposite to Euro USD. And what we see right here is that the market pushed to that weekly lower high, tried to break it, but this was just a fake out to take out the people that had their stop losses above, and a massive bearish engulf with no wick to the downside. This is really strong, guys. So going back to the daily time frame, we saw wick here, 23rd of March. This is where the market opened. We pushed down, we failed, but then we just continued pushing to the downside, breaking below the EMA, retesting it the last day, and still continuing down. So pretty similar structure to Euro USD, but in reverse. 4 hourly time frame. Let me show you the opportunities right here. We were climbing. This was our last structural point right here. But what we spotted as well is that the market was failing to break above. This was a little bit of choppy right here. We spiked lower here on the last higher low, pay attention. But then what we did, the market was already pushing to the downside. We had another lower high, spike. Then we broke, we retested this area with that candle right here, and then we continued to flush. So it was hard to get an opportunity on this one. We had one right here. This was clear because this was the pullback, we took longs actually from here because we spotted that the market was overextended, and on the 15-minute we had that structural shift, but it was very quick. This was just a little scalp or a day trade, and then we had the bearish engulf and the continuation to the downside. So taking all of this into consideration, I will be looking for shorts. I will be looking for the pullback. It is pretty clear, very nice lower high, clear push. So I will be waiting for the exhaustion, lower high formation, and then continuation back into this area, this daily area. Could there be scenarios for longs? Yes, there could be, but I think the market is very bearish. So I have to see a lot of evidence. I have to see the market push. I have to see the market pull back for a double bottom. Show me some rejections that I want to see a strong push to the upside, and that's when I will only look for longs. So let's be patient. I'm looking for shorts. Let's wait for that lower high. Let's have a look at the GBP, starting with GBP USD weekly time frame. A pretty strong bullish engulf on the weekly time frame, which really tells us a lot that the market is bullish for now. Translating this to the daily time frame, we're having a strong push to the downside, and this looks like a pullback, but it has broken above the EMA, and it's really pushing to the upside. So I will remain bullish until I see otherwise. Potentially, I will draw a fib to see where price is. Well, it's approaching the 61.8 which is at 1.25. So I will just mark 1.25 and know that this is the 61.8. 4 hourly time frame. What did we have on this pair, guys? It was pretty hard to trade actually. This is where the market opened. It failed on numerous occasions to break lower. Then we started to push up. Then we had this potential higher high. I wanted the market to go down, to pull back a little bit and then push higher, but it just broke out. And then we had the pullback. So we had a member of the community taking a brutal short right here, but then the market reversed immediately. Spike, 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 actually created a new level in the market right here. Bullish engulf opportunity was just right here, if you can use the lower time frames. And then we just pushed higher. Where is my last area? It's right here. The market just pushed. What I will be looking for, a pullback and a continuation. But we're extremely close to 1.25, so I will monitor this because we might have resistance right here. The market might fake out. We have a little area just right here as well. So let's wait. I am bullish on GU, but I want to see how the market is going to pull back to create a higher low so that I have enough range to take profits at 1.25. Okay, let's wait for the pullback, higher low, and continuation up, or a double top and a reversal. GJ as well, looking pretty bullish. As you can see, massive spike to the downside right here. This was just a massive candle, and right now we're having a clear bullish engulf. So bullish on the GBPs. Daily time frame not pretty clear. What I can see right here is just this kind of zone right here, which we still have a lot to go until we reach that one. So this one, where the market opened, it was roughly around right here. Yes, so we had a push, pullback, push. This has already shifted, guys, to a buy bias market because we had a push, pullback, high. Then we had this little consolidation. If I go to the hourly time frame, you will be able to spot the breakout as well, where longs could be taken. Breakout, little pullback, push, high, pullback again, creating a level in the market, just right here. High, low, another opportunity right here, and then we pushed for a new high to end the week. Last structural point is just right here. What I will be waiting for is very similar to GU. I want to see a pullback and maybe a continuation to the upside. But what I want you to spot, guys, this is a little tip from me. I want you to spot how the pushes start big. You see this push, this pullback. You see this push, this pullback. But right now they're really starting to slow down, which means the momentum is running out of steam. So we might have a potential for a reversal as well. But this is what I said, guys. Don't rush to enter on Monday or on Sunday as well. There are people entering on Sunday, which is really a mess. Let's wait to see what the market will tell us, because this market might start completely bearish and break all the structure on Monday. So why do you need to go long when the structure is broken? And you clearly see that this week GJ is going down. So I want you to spot this. I want you to go with the flow. For now, we are bullish. We keep buying until we don't see a break of the structure, a new lower low, and a pullback. GA, very, very, very hard structure. No, it's not hard actually this week, but I'm not trading GA right now because the spread is too high and it's just pretty volatile. What did we have right here is this double bottom. Let me first have a look at the weekly. Nah, the weekly is just a mess. Look at all those wicks. Daily time frame, spike. We had a morning star formation, little pullback, bullish engulf. So it was overall bullish, as all the GBPs are bullish. Nice opportunity just right here actually, where the market broke, retested with a pretty bearish engulf, but then we snapped higher again, pullback, bullish engulf, a potential opportunity just right here. If I drop down to the 15-minute time frame, you will see break, push, retest, wick, beautiful opportunity right here, which would have hit TP in the matter of minutes. But then the market starts to consolidate again, and really nothing happens for the remaining of the week. What I want to see next week, it's very confusing. This one, I'm not trading this one right now. This area right here that the market spiked on the last, we have strong resistance right here as well. So I really want to see clear structure in this one, guys. I feel that we might be going short because it's really running out of steam. This was a strong bullish engulf into resistance, immediately met with selling pressure. If I see this, I will short this market. I will wait for a little pullback and I will short this market. So let's see if this happens, because we might continue higher. If I see a strong push to the upside, I will go with the flow and I will go long. But we have pretty strong resistance right here where the market faked out, bearish, lower high, continued for a lower low, but here it started to fail, formed a double bottom, pushed higher, higher low, higher high. So right now we really need to see the shift of structure in order to identify the directions. But overall right now it's bullish, so we want to see something more. It's quite choppy actually. Euro GBP, I don't trade this one as well. I don't know why, I don't like it. But you can see from the weekly time frame, we spiked into massive resistance, massive spike, fill of the spike right here with this wick, and then we flushed lower. Daily time frame, as you can see, this massive bullish engulf into the resistance, indecision, trial for a bearish engulf, but failure. Actually, the wick is bigger than the body. We spiked again higher, tried to break but failed. Then we had this bearish candle, actually an inside bar spike again. So very hard actually to judge the direction, but we saw clearly from the 4-hourly time frame that the market was shifting. So we had this high, then the market failed to make a new high, started to push lower. You could go a short in the range of those candles like this. Then we have this structure that was failed to break, but then we pulled back for a lower high formation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spikes. This is 20 hours of the market failing to break above. Last spike right here, and then we continued lower, retested the previous area of resistance, bearish engulf, final spike to the upside, and then we end the week bearish. So that's how we will break down this market. So I will keep this level actually, because this is the major area that the market broke below. What I want to see is the market to pull back into the EMA, into its mean value. We see that the trend is clearly down, so what I want to see is a pullback, lower high. I think this is a clear Fibonacci setup as well. As you can see, 56.8% zone. This will be an area of interest to me, so we can go short. And I think that's the last GBP, so let's have a look at what else do we have. Gold weekly time frame, pretty nice opportunity actually. We started the week on Monday with a massive long on gold, which was shared in the signals channel. So we had a pretty nice indecision candle right here, and this week closed as a pretty strong bullish engulf, creating a morning star formation. Daily time frame, this was the bottom right here, spike, fill of the spikes, and again I want you to pay attention how the market fails to break lower, right? This was the market open on 23rd of March. We immediately spiked to the upside, and you can see the next day there was no wick down. It just opened and just continued to push higher. Where was the opportunity? It was just right here, because we had this little consolidation box right here, and we thought that if the market is going to break to the upside, then we are going to have the long opportunity. As you can see how the market was descending, consolidating, and this triangular formation. And then the breakout possible entry, because gold, when it breaks out, it really goes. It doesn't come back for retests usually. And then we had a massive long opportunity. What did we have the last few days was right this. Another similar setup. When the market starts to correct, we pay attention that the market is failing to break below this area. Massive engulf again. Let me see the hourly time frame. This bullish engulf might have been an entry because we had even a minor consolidation on the hourly time frame. We continued higher with TPs, the previous high right here, which was perfectly fulfilled, and the market ended the week as a consolidation. So what do we want for next week? Well, I think that this is a clear consolidation, guys. I will just do like this. But if you want me to break structure, then I will have this as my highest point. The market pushed higher, pulled back. It looks bullish. So I have this area as my last one. So what I want to see on this one, in order to go short, I want to see a strong break below, even below this kind of supportive region. Because the market might spike to the downside, but might find support and reverse. But if it finds support, then we have a potential for retesting this broken high and then going down. The EMA is currently holding the price action, but if we break below the EMA, if we come back for a retest, back at the EMA as well, and the structural resistance, and maybe this trend line that is going to be formed by that time, if we break, then we can go short on gold. So let's see if that happens. If we have a strong bullish candle to the upside, then we might continue higher, but I can see that we had a massive push, a massive correction, and if I'm wrong that this is around, yes, around 78.6 into the zone of 61.8 and 78.6. So we still have some like it hasn't broken the 78.6, which is our last resort, so we can still look for shorts. But first we need the shift. We need the market to tell us that there are people selling, a retest for confirmation potentially, because gold usually does a retest, and then we go lower. Ending the video with US 30. So we're having a bullish week right here, because we saw even the structural shift right here from the bottom. 23rd of March really failed to break below, and then we had the shift, right? So if I go back to the 4-hourly time frame, Where is the low? Right here, 23rd of March, the market attempted to push higher. This was actually a pullback. We were still looking for sales, but then the market pulled lower, failed to break below, and then we had the breakout of this last lower high, which resulted in a pretty nice strong push to the upside, and we kept creating bullish structure, higher low, higher high, higher low. Another beautiful long opportunity right here, exactly on tradable hours. Spike to the downside, spike to the downside, EMA confluence, and we continued pushing higher. What I want from this week, well, I just want to check the daily time frame. We have a potential level of resistance just right here on the daily time frame. I usually don't trade US30. What we have is this trend line that is still valid. So I want to see, yeah, it's actually breaking. So I really want to see how the market is going to open in this one, because we have this area that is still acting as strong support, because we can see that from here the market really pushed higher. Right now we are pulling back, we are into the EMA, so we might have another long, right? But we want to stay with the market. This is a support resistance region right here. So there are two scenarios that might happen, guys. We might find support to continue higher, or find resistance at the double top and reverse, or the market might open with bearishness to tap this area, and from then we have to judge if we're going long, if we see rejections, if we see evidence on the lower time frames that the market is going up, or we break below this one and continue lower. So two key areas on this market. This one, the high right here, price is in the middle right now. It might create a higher low right here, but we will need to see one more rejection like this, and some bullishness and some break of this movement on the lower time frames. So this is US30, and this is for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it and you found something valuable from it. Let me know down in the comments if you did. Like the video to support this channel as well. Leave me some feedback and let me know what you want me to discuss more. Give me some video ideas. I would really appreciate it. And I want to thank you for staying up until now. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you on my next video.